Today we're in Mykonos, Greece, exploring Aimasia Villa, a beautiful home that blends seamlessly with the island's rugged landscape. With brutalist design and natural elements sourced here, it is absolutely breathtaking. There are so many unexpected moments in this home, and we're so excited to show you guys around. Right from the entrance, you can feel the weight of this structure as it disappears into this hillside. It's bold, it's raw, it's minimal. It's a perfect example of modern brutalist design that was done by Praxitelis Kondylis and his team at A31 Studios in Athens, Greece. And you'll notice behind me this concrete wall that's exposed. The indentations on the wall, giving it a little bit more texture and decorative look. That's actually done by a famous architect in Japan, Tadao Ando, where they actually take the rebar out of the concrete during its formation process, and it leaves this really cool indentation and print on the wall. And that's actually followed even here on the storage door. You'll notice indentations there as well. But we have very minimal choices everywhere here. You can fit up to 5-6 cars in this covered carport area. And we bring back the history of the island beneath your feet. You'll notice the granite that was pulled from this very soil, poured here on this sweeping driveway. So I like how they bring back the history of the island here with this modern design. All the dry stack stone that you see on the retaining walls were just blended into this hill. Blending in again is the top-down view of this home. You'll notice all the topography just blending into this hill. And they actually built with the land rather on top of it. So I always love those subtle design choices when architects decide to build with versus against. So you'll notice the curvature pushing around the home, cantilevering almost over this hillside. It's beautiful. And then above, you'll almost notice this fingerprint-like texture on the ceiling. And that was actually printed in and stamped to mimic wood, which I thought was really well done. And it also warms the space just a tad. But now stepping out of this area, you'll notice the curvature of these 3 steps also follows the curvature of this building and the retaining wall. It's beautiful. I mean, the views everywhere you look is raw, rugged, and it follows that same texture as we go up these steps and into the home. So this home sits with just under 10,000 square feet. We have 6 bedrooms, all with their own en-suites, a staff quarters, and 10 bathrooms, with 2 of those bedrooms having their own private pools. So there's actually 3 pools in total. But again, as you're hosting here, as you will, as this home was actually made for that reason, you can actually get away and separate yourself from the rest of the gathering that's hosted here. And they did an incredible job of making this brutalistic home also feel like a home where you can gather with all these warm touches that you're gonna see throughout this space. And Tom Dixon has curated the furniture and the interior design throughout this space, did an incredible job at making this home feel something unlike anything we've ever seen. But now stepping out, notice the curvilinear line just opening back up, framing the Mediterranean Sea with Aimasia Beach just at the base. And from these chairs that are suspended with that sculptural feel that these have, following the curvilinear lines of this home, you can actually see the islands of Paros and Naxos from this villa. It's spectacular. You always get a show here from these incredible views. But now stepping down, you'll notice the curvature from this roofline also is followed on these 2 steps. Plenty of space for lounging and tanning. We have an outdoor kitchen area with a full dining table with an outdoor shower to rinse off from whether you're down at the sea or here in this infinity edge pool. And I just want to capture the scale of this. This is massive. And you also have an area to chill and relax on more lawn chairs in the shallow end, which is all stepping down into the pool, lined with that white tile. It's really, really beautiful. And it just has that nice turquoise look, which also mimics the turquoise that we see from Aimasia Beach. It's so, so pretty. Following this retaining wall is this concrete formation, which can be used as a bench, a place to sit back, relax, chat with your friends who are hanging out here on this modular couch. And I love that you can create different little moments in this space with this couch. But stepping up, you'll notice that this follows the entire exterior of this wall on this side of the home. Just this tall glass. Everything is meant just to push you and direct you to these views. But now here in the formal dining area, we have seating for 8. We have these asymmetrical brass fixtures with these globe warm tips that you see on the end, warming this space back up, but also bringing balance back to this home. It adds a sense of energy into these homes because we have all these walls and these concrete formations. So it adds a little bit more character here, right? Because we've got the cork that's all been rounded to speak to how eco-friendly they are. And also the cork here on this open cabinet space with all these glass fixtures in it. It's so well done, it's very tasteful, and it just, again, adds almost like this gallery sense with this tapestry, the different artwork also done by Dixon. It feels a bit like a showroom. And here on this set of stairs, you'll notice the warm glow on this staircase leading you to the lower level. It makes it feel like you're floating as you go down into the Y room, the gym, and multiple rooms we'll get to. But again, not to interrupt your views, a straight shot just picture framing the Aegean Sea and those two islands we spoke about earlier. It's stunning. Now here in the formal living room, we have multiple pieces by Dixon. Starting right here, we have this curved, warped mirror, just framing the couch and of course the sea once again, and it just feels like it's part of this space. Another piece, the perforated metal, all the lighting, and as you move around it and interact with it, it sparkles. So I love how all these pieces are also interactive. And you'll notice those indentations on the wall once again. I mean, this home, many people will say there's not a lot of character because it's a brutalist design, but you'll notice with these indentations, this home invites you to wander around it and explore it as light moves and interacts with the space throughout the day. So I would say it does have a lot of character. You just have to live with it and experience it, right? Now here on this L-shaped couch, it's very plush, it's low profile. It just invites you to hang out and to stay a while and look and enjoy these views. We have this overlapping coffee table behind me on this warm organic rug, another wooden sculpture, again by Dixon. And these doors, again, all open up. So as you can see here, as you'd guess, they slide. And nothing to obstruct your views once again. So we have more of that seating right here and another great shot of that boulder that is suspended above that villa. And everything is just pushing and directing you to the sea. It's honestly so stunning. But now as we push across, I did want to touch on the playfulness and the industrious nature of this home. So you'll notice this cabinetry with the record players set up right here, industrial, and then also these as well. Just leaning into that industrial vibe. And the playfulness with these huge, long industrial cords, which mimics the couch and just how oversized it feels. Now stepping across, get another look at how it's just curved and how you move with the property and interact with it. This concrete cylindrical pillar and a big moment over here. But first I want to talk about this Italian marble slab. This is beautiful, and it's actually one of the only pieces in the home that wasn't sourced here on the island. So you've got this entire piece, the circular chairs, everything is circular. And this is actually my favorite part in the entire home. I love what's coming next, but I absolutely love these fixtures. There's actually a ball inside the fixture. So when the wind comes in, these fixtures you'll actually see move. Again, just to speak on how interactive this home is. The appliances that are actually installed into the actual countertop are all Gagnaw. Everything is high-end Gagnaw appliances. We have the espresso built in, the oven built in, and of course, everything is smooth to the touch here on this wood. And if you want to open something, you just press it. Super easy to go back in as well. All the cabinets is just integrated here, even on the marble. And of course, you have the wine chiller and the refrigerator right here. So plenty of space. We're gonna go into this room, but before we do, I'm gonna take everyone out to the kitchen really quick. So this outdoor kitchen is super accessible to the indoor kitchen. You'll also notice that little slit of light. So as the sun actually moves across the sky during the day, you'll notice the sun just shooting through this little opening here at sunset. But this entire overhang just perfectly frames the sea, the outdoor shower, and even here on the dining table. It's intentionally simple. It's brutalist, but it's not cold. It warms back up with these simple design choices. It just was so intentional. Again, very site specific. Everything here in this space feels curated and again, very intentional and just so well done. But now we're actually gonna enter our very first bedroom here in this home. Notice more of those indentations and again, the light and how I'm talking earlier about the light and how it interacts with the day, you'll see all these lines just move. And some of these fixtures on the walls that you see also reflect an image on the wall, and it just plays so nicely. Here to my left, we have a large storage room, just blends into that wall. Now stepping into our first bedroom of 6 here in this villa, notice the integrated cabinets, everything is following that very minimalistic approach with a dark stained oak. If you open these up, the light pops on immediately, that's integrated. Tons of closet space in here. Behind me, we have more of that aluminum here on this door that is sourced here locally. And you can open these doors up, just let that fresh air come down into the space. And you see those green vines that are just dropping down. Just it's the sunlight that gets pushed even here into this room. It feels a bit more like a cave. It gets a little cozier here, but you still have obviously access to that sunlight. These lamps are amazing because you can completely change the vibe and just the lighting here by just going up and down, because this is on a little wire. Just a really cool design. Again, Tom Dixon, but aside it, we have a British salt glazed tile right here on the wall, just coming out of that smooth concrete. On each side, we have a bedside table made of black granite. Again, another local choice. And then these really cool pendant lights on each respective side just cast a nice light against the wall. So although there's not artwork on this back wall, it acts as it. You'll notice all the shades and different shapes that come through these windows just move throughout the day. So that is and acts as your natural art installation. So stepping in to our ensuite, we have this volcanic granite tile everywhere here in this space. Just a really cool, dark, cozy vibe. As you step around, notice the curvature of the tile goes even here into this walk-in shower. This is incredible. This light is just the way it floods here in this space. Almost looks like it continues going. It's like a skylight, but really it's just another installation. But you have all these brass fixtures everywhere, just adding into a little bit more of the character development here in the storyline of this villa. Again, these lights just cast light so uniquely, and we also have a slot drain just below that brass faucet that's coming out of the wall. Just very minimal and very clean throughout this entire space. Now entering to the main living areas once again. I love this sight line as we push out. Just these fixtures, and then of course the Aegean Sea, and then all the rough, harsh landscape that we see around us on these mountains. It's beautiful. Now coming around, this is an entrance to the bedroom we're about to enter, our second bedroom during this tour, and elevator access. And this is the big moment, the 6,600 pound boulder that's hanging and suspending above the stairwell. So we have more artwork by Tom Dixon once again. Just notice how they've recycled this and crunched it into this sculpture that you see here on the wall. And then behind me, we have a set of 2 bathrooms. So we have 2 water closets, all behind this opaque glass, which is all corrugated, by the way, wrapped in that steel that we've seen throughout this tour. And then behind me, we have this terrazzo, not only in the floating vanity with the slot drains, but also beneath our feet. And that minimalistic approach coming out of the wall, brass lined mirror, and the skylight above. Natural light is just flooding into all these different spaces in here so well. I love the sconce as well. It mimics the same wood pattern that we see on the ceilings. There's so many little details you have to catch as you walk through here, as this home tells you its story. So look at this, the boulder. We're about to see this here in a moment, but just capturing it right here is just incredible. Just the engineering that had to go into that is amazing to think about. So that's our side entrance to the carport. And again, all these doors all have their own keypad. So you have secure access and you can lock out and close in yourself safely every night. So this pivot door opens up and wraps around to what we just saw. Industrial open shelving to my left, and check this out. I mean, this is one of my favorite moments in this home. Just these raw concrete steps cantilevering out of this smooth concrete wall. It's so cool with all these clean geometric lines. And this almost acts as our railing, this warm, soft glow. And of course, a skylight above, softening all those harsh, brutalistic lines here in this space. So this is my favorite bedroom, and we're already touring it this early in the tour, which I love. So we have a double vanity, more of that minimalistic approach with the brass that's coming out of the wall. Even the mirrors are put into the actual wall, which I thought was so cool, and just speaks to the intentionality of the interior architects and engineers all working together to make this happen. People from all over the world flew here to make this happen. So you'll notice that oak that has been stained dark. Actually step over here so you guys can see the fixture that is also welcoming you as you come up this flight of stairs. So you can sit here, get some work done, read a book. Right now we've got the Pebble Spotter's Guide. You'll notice the different pieces of minerals spread throughout this home as they've collected them. You'll notice this wraps all the way around. And that light also follows the slope of this home. So you'll notice from a top-down view of this home, right? It blends into the topography and the slope of this home. But then it also just opens back up. It's like the actual home is just breathing and opening up to this view. But right here, we've got a walk-in shower with white marble wrapping every piece, followed up by your water closet, more of that white marble with that soft veining once again. And then stepping straight out into the bedroom. This piece was a little foreshadowing because we just spoke about all the minerals. So just think about when you're traveling areas, they've actually put this little box here intentionally. So if you go to a certain area or a certain island, you can come back with a little rock, a little mineral, and place it here. So instead of keeping sand from different locations you've traveled, you just keep a little bit of the mineral from wherever you've went. So we've got marble bedside tables on each side. Again, that linen here on the bed. And this wall is shared by those vanities. And I love the industrial lighting they have set up. So you can have all of your uses right here from these touch pads. So if you want to open up the curtains, the doors, anything, the lights, you can change everything without getting out of bed, which is amazing. The last thing you want to do when you're all comfy is change the light. So you've got 2 chairs set up right here, your own private pool, and it's just so calm here. The weather is perfect, and just these incredible views. Nobody can build here, so you're gonna have this view for hundreds of years, just like it was millions of years ago. So it was so cool seeing this view, but the architect said his favorite view was actually this mountain right here. And if you want, you can get on top of this roof, walk around, it's all walkable, and there's that little slit we saw earlier. So that's by that outdoor kitchen, and this light just moves and goes down there and again, changes throughout the day. I love this elongated step, super cool vibe with the chrome, and then of course over here, we have another brass outdoor shower for when you're done coming in from the ocean or from your pool. It's so calm, it's so quiet here. We're in off season right now and it is dead silent. As the season picks up, this entire beach will just come alive and the scene will obviously change, but it's nice honestly being here while no one else is here. But this path takes you all the way to the front of the home. So you can kind of go on like a mini adventure here on your own property. Notice all those soft tiles contrasting with this smooth concrete. Just so well done. You see that elevation change with the slope? That's why this is my favorite bedroom. But this staircase is just incredible. Look how it moves and just angles, mimicking the lines that we just saw from the exterior of the home. Everything, again, is pushing you out to that line. Stepping out of our first bedroom, I want to take you guys to where we first began this tour. So this is another one of those monolithic pivot doors that we saw at the beginning of this tour, in another high traffic area just off the motor court and carport area. This bathroom can be easily missed just because it's smooth into the wall like the bedrooms that we're going to see down below. But this bathroom is super large, so it goes into kind of this triangle here in the corner, but it's super long, and also the ceiling as well. It's another one of those lights that kind of give you the illusion that it's a skylight, but just casts a nice warm glow here in this large water closet. But now we're gonna step downstairs and check out the rest of the bedrooms here in this space. So this is the big moment in this home. You've got the lighting, making this feel like it's floating, and then suspended above is that 6,600 pound boulder. And just looking up, seeing the skylight, it truly just feels like it's floating up here and just suspended above your head. It's so cool. And at the base, here we have the elevator access, and then down this hallway, you're gonna travel across this concrete rough terrazzo that we have on the floor. Off to my right, we have another perforated door, utility room, and then of course, this being kind of the staff quarters area, you have the laundry room set just aside. But now moving along, you're gonna notice more of these doors that either access to utility closets or more storage. blends seamlessly into the wall with that plaster and then the smooth concrete. So off to my left, here we have the kitchen. So we have these kind of vintage or mid-century chairs around this bistro table and the circular fixture illuminating above, open shelving, and everything you might need in a little kitchen just off the staff quarters. But check out one of the bedrooms. So we have two of these completely mimicking each other, but we have two twin beds set just between. We have the office, little chair set up to get some work done, more of that oak everywhere in the custom cabinets, and some nice lights on each respective side. And here in the bathroom, it's very quiet luxury in here. You'll notice the lighting and the drop shelf just really creates this floating effect in here, but it's very simple and it's very easy just to come and go in here as there's not a lot of detail, and they just let the lighting speak for itself. So I think that's one really nice thing about brutalism and just that type of architecture is the architect actually called it essentialism. So it's only what is essential to be seen. So this is another staff quarters room, same thing. And this is all kept away by another pivot door. So now we're gonna step into this showroom or this wine storage area. You'll notice each of these three pillars with the perforation once again continuing that theme. It almost acts as a part of the structural integrity of this home. You can see you can just put your wine bottles right in there. And it's all backlit in that cylinder, just illuminating those circles. It's super cool. Then of course, you see the circular fixture and the shadowing that it's casting below. Again, letting what is essential speak for it. I think that's a really cool part of the design process here. And it's all actually made of this wire mesh material, creating that glow. And of course, another Tom Dixon fixture. And then just behind this green marble slab is the area. So this is the wine room. It's getting temperature controlled. So this is where you do wine tastings, and you can like spit out the wine right here and rinse before you try a new bottle of wine here in the wine room. So again, only what is essential. Down here, another one of those staircases that just floats and glow with that warm light that we saw earlier. And a cool thing about the theme in this home, it's very consistent, but down here, they add some playful touches. So each of these bedrooms that you're gonna notice out of the three have a completely new theme and vibe. So this one takes on that elegant vibe with this monolithic white marble structure here on the double vanity with that subtle veining. But this has that elegant, again, modern touch with those brass touches here on the hardware. Again, everything's very simple and essential once again. And then above, just kind of leaning into the playful vibe that we saw earlier, we have this cluster bubble fixture hanging above. Nice warm glow in here again. And the terrazzo turns from that rough to the smooth finish in here. So when you're walking around, everything's really nice to the touch. The mirror's also wrapped in more of that brass. And then behind me, we have a floor to ceiling mirror. And then just off the mirror, we have the water closet, a circular fixture in here once again. And this is all closed up by this steel black door. Corrugation on the glass, it's opaque, so you have some nice privacy. But now looping around, we have this hallway shower, more of that white marble everywhere with brass touches. And this wall is actually shared with the bedroom. So the headboard and this, again, very simple design here, just a linen draped over the bed. The bedside tables are the same marble that's also used right here on this desk space with that raw edge. Another Tom Dixon fixture and this Eames-inspired chair. So I love that mid-century flair that they have in here with touches of playfulness and industrialness. So we have these brake discs used as these actual bedside table lamps with the suspension arm. So just leaning into kind of the industrial vibe. And each of these doors in every single room are gonna have this soft curtain that drapes by and again diffuses that light, which all can be controlled by your bedside tables. All the buttons are there, because the worst thing is when you're laying in bed and all comfortable, having to get out of bed and like mess with a curtain or a light. So you can pull open each one of these doors, revealing more of the vertical slats, again, diffusing the light, but letting some of that natural air come in. But we're gonna go into our second bedroom here, each with its own theme. The white oak here in the cabinets as we step across. To my left is the hall that leads straight out to some of the patio space where you can tan and relax, and again, get separated from the rest of the home, but also the extra villa that we have down below that's detached. Brutalist architecture in Mykonos. I feel like that is something already that is it's debated, right? Because you see a lot of white buildings, blue shutters, blue doors.
It's true. It's debatable, yeah. But do you see the scenery? Do you see the topography? Do you see the nature? It's brutalistic as well. Mm-hmm. So, and actually, apparently the building is very smooth from outside, right? It's like moves with the winds. So what you see from outside is a very playful, curvy volumes.
What is something unexpected that you think people feel when they come into this space?
They cannot expect, I think, is the rockiness of this hill over there, because we took some of these rocks. Actually, those rocks were found here. The rocks that we placed, the hanging one and the one which was placed downstairs, were inside our plot. So we kept them apart, and we said we're going to use them and like showcase them inside the building or outside the building.
Transitioning into this bedroom, another monolithic pivot door in black, and then this room takes on that organic vibe that we see outside all of these picture frame windows here. But the monolithic structure remains with this granite vanity. Black touches this time, even on these inset mirrors, into the actual wall. And this plaster has that kind of burnt orange, like cinnamon look to it. And again, just to speak to the monolithic structure, look at that. It goes all the way through, and then it transitions into that dark stained oak. And it's all covered up super seamlessly. The soft lighting everywhere, and that brushed brass once again. And then inside the water closet, just speaking kind of the shadowing and kind of the artwork that plays on the walls, that's one of the shadows from this circular fixture just off the water closet. But now into the walk-in shower, more black touches. And that can all be covered up by, again, this opaque perforated door. So now into the bedroom, just look at the shadowing once again from these vertical slats. This can all be easily opened back up. I just love seeing the lines move across the bed. It's so beautiful. And then you can actually see out on the land in the neighboring areas, some ox, some cows wandering around, grazing. So beautiful. There's just so many areas in this home where it's just so relaxing. Just imagine waking up here, you just have the curtains just flowing and just being woken up by the natural light as the sun rises just beyond these mountains. And looking through these windows, you're also going to begin to notice these stone terrace walls that keeps the herd together. And paying homage to that, bringing it back inside, is the spine of this home. So this actually travels 62 meters through the home, following the natural contour of the land. Again, just another great callback to the Cycladic architecture of the Greek people. And I love that they did that here inside this room and all of the rooms. So we have clean lines here on this office space and another sculptural, just minimalistic chair, very industrial once again. And moving along, we have more of that dark oak here in those built-ins. This isn't your average gym. So you step through another one of these black pivot doors into this showroom of a gym. It feels very crisp in here with these tube fluorescent lights above, and then you'll notice all the angled mirrors here. It creates this infinite effect, but you can kind of come over here and meditate and relax because you can actually control all the light in here by a press of a button. So on this panel, you can just set the vibe up here, relax, meditate before you step out for the day. But if you want, you can turn these back on and get a workout going. So very cool vibe in here. And I want to step across because this is one of the coolest areas in this entire home. There's so many big moments, but this is just another one of them. So we go from that smooth concrete and that matte gray to more of this volcanic granite that we see in here. So it has this very monolithic feeling that it's carved out of granite. The circular drain, and then above the rainfall. And of course we have this warm slit just pushing light into this dark space. So when you close all this up, it's more ambient and it has this like experience of just using your senses because it's so dark in here. But off to my right, through another one of these pivot doors, you step into the sauna, steam room, and again, super dark and moody in here. You can hear the granite beneath your feet. And I love all the different angles in here and all the geometric shapes. You can sit here in different elevations. And again, the ceiling is curved. And it just really pays homage to that Cycladic architecture once again with those natural stones, which is really, really cool. And of course, the white theme that we see here in Greece. But Such a cool vibe. It's incredible. I wish this theme was on because I would definitely use it. But I want to show you guys the water closet real quick here, behind this door. Plays into that theme once again with that volcanic granite and a drop down suspended mirror just above this floating vanity. Again, everything has that essential feeling that we've spoken about again and again. Now, coming out, we're now gonna take you guys into the last bedroom in this home, but there's a whole nother detached villa we still need to get to. I absolutely love this space. Now stepping around to the end of the hallway, another pivot door, and that granite continues on here against one large structure. And these are really unique. We have these little cylindric faucets that are coming from the actual ceiling. It's a really cool, unique look. And again, everything just feels very clean and purposeful. And then off to my right, we have a full body mirror. And this all wraps around this dark wood. And this desk, just to lean into the monolithic structures, once again, we've been saying that word a lot throughout this tour, but this is just one solid piece. And then off to my left, we have this cityscape or top-down view, and it's all made of charred wood, just off your water closet with more of that granite. But then as we walk down to the edge of the bed, we have another walk-in shower with more of that granite, with another one of these opaque sliding doors with all that corrugation. Just so many beautiful pieces, and again, everything is essential and used in this space. There's no wasted square footage in this entire floor plan. But now, stepping out, we're gonna finally head down to this detached villa. More incredible views of the Aegean Sea, and of course, you see the islands just off in the distance. It's incredible. That turquoise water coming in from that deep blue is just stunning. You have these chairs set here for tanning and relaxing. And as we step down, you'll notice the landscaping and just how green it is and lush. And then off to my left, we do have an olive tree because we are in Greece. So of course, we have to have the famous olive tree, but look at the rugged landscape. It's amazing. This is actually the architect's favorite view in this home, is this landscape. So that's why you'll notice when you come down this home, it shoots straight out into this hill, but then it directs you to the ocean once again. But this is just an incredible moment, going down these smooth concrete steps. And of course, you have the white plaster on each side, and you just see this boulder just suspended above your head, literally. I mean, it's just sitting on top of these concrete walls, and it also acts as shade. And I love the light as it moves throughout the day, just moves and dances across these steps. It's so, so beautiful. Stepping across these natural stones, you'll notice all the polished stones and pebbles around it as we step through another monolithic black pivot door into our final detached villa. So this has no dead zones in here, so you can go right, left, and has a very commanding feeling here with all this perforated metal here in the closet that wraps around. It's very geometric in here as well, as we have two twin vanities, very heavy granite side by side with more of these industrious cylindric tubes that come from the ceiling. It's so, so cool. I just love how simple it is. And again, very clean lines, only the essential with this home. The hardware installed inside the actual wall. And a little bit of that glam lighting, right, in the actual wall, which I thought was really fun. Again, a little bit of playfulness throughout this home. But speaking on how this entire thing is very grid-like, and again, no dead zones. You can walk all the way around here in this closet. So when you share this space with someone, it's incredibly easy to do so with all these different lines. But just to speak on how clean everything looks when you close these doors, we do have the water closet right here, very dark and moody once again with that dark granite. Check this out. I mean, just how clean, and just the sounds of this and the metal coming together, the walk-in shower, again, moody, but it's just so solid. And just see how clean everything becomes, disappears and becomes part of this square structure in the center. Just so many geometric lines in here. And then as we walk down almost into the bedroom, the headboard of this bed actually is shared with this hallway of a shower. Dark and moody once again. And if I were to walk around, again, no dead zones. You can see this bed. On each bedside table, we have these very industrial bedside tables, Dixon fixtures on each side with a control panel underneath. So again, you don't have to get out of bed. You can just sit back and enjoy what you're here for, which is these views, of course. We have this wicker chair right here with another industrial table. And I love how you can control the lighting in here. That is what's so fun about this home, is how you interact with it. You'll notice the slope line of the roof is followed also on the interior. And you can see the continuation with that warm integrated LED light, just casting a nice glow in this entire space. It's so well done. The floor lamps, again, everything is kind of leaning into each other and complementing each other. We also have another one of those aluminum framed picture frame sliding doors. It's just incredible. And I love how everything's so seamless and flush, and again, sourced here in Greece. I just love how this all opens back up to these incredible views of the Aegean Sea, the white tile, and your private pool once again, mimicking the one we saw upstairs, with an outdoor shower with more of that brass. And you can even see these different planters and little side tables. So if you want to come out here with an espresso and just enjoy these views in the morning, you can do that next to this marble and glass fused table. But now coming back inside, we're going to show you guys a little bit of what the home looks like here once the sun falls behind the mountains and the moon comes out, and everything and the entire vibe completely changes.